Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to quickly go over the latest blog post from ArenaNet regarding the Exalted. So firstly, the Exalted are not the Masat, which means the theory that a lot of us have been throwing around since we glimpsed these creatures in the various trailers is in fact wrong. I'll admit, I was a little disappointed when I saw this, especially as it seems we are getting another race of magical beings, as it were, when there are already two in the lore of Guild Wars. But I do think that the Exalted will add more flavour to the whole story of Guild Wars 2 in general, and there is still the possibility of us coming across the Masat within the new raid. I do not think that all these references to the White Mantle and odd activity very close to the Maguma Bloodstone is a coincidence. Anyway, this all starts with our favourite ex-Elder Dragon champion, Glint, about 50 years before the start of the first game, or 300 years from the current Guild Wars 2 timeline. Glint, who, with the gift of prophecy and the Forgotten as her attendants, set about preparing a legacy that would continue her work after she herself died. Under Glint's instruction, the Forgotten sought out human volunteers to help them with securing a peaceful future. After a set of tests, the most worthy of these volunteers underwent a ritual to convert their bodies into pure magical energy that was then encased within golden armour. They became known as the Exalted. Once transformed, they retained their names, personalities and memories from their previous lives, but no longer required sustenance or sleep, do not age, and are extremely durable. However, they can be killed through violent action or draining of their essential magic, which could pose a problem, as they would make a nice snack for any of the Elder Dragons who feed on that very thing. The Exalted reside in the jungle, within a shining golden city called Tario, which is located under a canopy so thick that midday can often feel like midnight. Once the city was built and ready to receive Glint's legacy, the Exalted became dormant, conserving their magical resources for when they would be needed. Now, after all this time, Glint's egg has started to stir, and as the Master of Peace set out to deliver the egg to this fabled city, it and all of its inhabitants awoke, magic flowing back into the city. Unfortunately for the Exalted, Scarlet Briar has already awoken Mordramoth, and they find themselves surrounded by far more dangerous creatures than they remember, and the allies that they had previously made are gone, perhaps forever. And of course, from the last Living World season, Kaith currently has Glint's egg after the Master of Peace was killed by a champion of Mordramoth. Is she taking it to Tario herself, or does she have a more nefarious plan in mind? So, there are a few things from this I'd like to discuss. Firstly, Glint. Did she foresee her own death at the hands of Kralkatorrik, or do we assume she just figured at some point she was bound to die, so she set about creating this legacy for that eventuality? And why was it always humans she used, in this and in the Flameseeker prophecies? Regarding the Forgotten and creating constructs, in Guild Wars 1, 50 years after the Exalted were created, we see the Forgotten using enchanted armours and enchanted bows when doing the Ascension missions. Are these maybe the humans that did not pass the trials to become Exalted, and the Forgotten were using them in another way, stripped of names, memories and personality? We are told that the Exalted become dormant to conserve their magical resources. Does this mean that they have a limited amount of magic within themselves? An amount of life force, if you will? Or do they have a limited amount of magic that they can call upon to utilise? We are also told that they have a more advanced facility with magic than their former human selves ever did. And we know, as discussed in my Elder Races video, that the Forgotten had a very powerful magic that was able to sever the connection between Elder Dragon and Champion, in the case of Glint and Kralkatorrik. Is the magic that the Exalted wield a form of this same Forgotten magic? Could it be a form of magic that is not corruptible, or could it be used to sever the connection between Champions and Elder Dragons? This could be a Get Out of Mordramoth free card for the Pale Tree in Sylvari. I think my most niggling problem with the Exalted is the amount of races that were in the jungle during the pre-Guild Wars 1 years, and all of the activity that went on there. We now have the Masat, Druids, Forgotten and Exalted all in the jungle, with none of them except for the last two interacting. It seems a little odd that none of them would have seen each other. Another interesting thought, what if these human volunteers were the ones who built the random Temple of Balthazar found in the Falls? Hopefully we will get some answers in Heart of Thorns, and I hope that we get lore like this actually in-game rather than it being all in blog posts, as it removes the fun of having to go and find the lore ourselves, in my opinion, which was such a fun part of the first game. Anyway, I shall end the video on that, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and until next time, take care and happy gaming.